I'm the first person to tell a commissioner when I've lost confidence in them, and I share that with Londoners, but also the first person to tell a commissioner when he has my confidence and share that with Londoners, and he has my confidence. I'd lost confidence in the former commissioner. I don't think...
What's the difference? Why did you lose confidence in her and not him?
He's accepted the racism, sexism and
He didn't accept the institutional part of it.
And homophobia in the police service.
He hasn't,
he's not,
Mr Mayor.
He's not defensive. He's not resistant to
change.
change.
Did you see my interview with him?
No, I'm sorry, I've been doing
well,
that stuff.
Trust me that he is incredibly defensive and he doesn't accept the full findings of the report.
And he's also willing to engage with communities. Look, today's report wasn't a surprise to me. It wasn't a surprise to me. And it won't be a surprise to your viewers who are people of colour, who are women, or who are from the LGBTQ+ community, because that's our experience of policing for the last 20, 30 years. The reason why this report is so important, it's not simply Dame Lou's case speaking to Londoners from those backgrounds, but to police officers and police staff who are black, Asian, Maori ethnic, who are women, who are from the LGBTQ+ community. And what Dame Lou's case is demanding is a complete overhaul. I fully accept her report. I think the police service is institutionally racist, it is institutionally homophobic, it is institutionally misogynistic, and that's why we need a complete overhaul.
So the Commissioner should look again at accepting that then?
Well, I've simply not seen the interview with you.
He's quoted, not just from speaking to us this morning, he doesn't accept that it's institutional.
Sure. I spoke to him yesterday and he accepts fully the issues around racism. He also, by the way, which is really important, does not accept, and I never have, this is just a few bad apples, this is just a few wrongs. These are systems and cultures that have allowed these behaviours to flourish and thrive to the point where if you're a predator, you're a paedophile, you think about joining the police service to get a warrant card to do even more bad things. Carrick and Cousins are two such examples.
And the unit that they were in, Dame Louise Casey says should be disbanded. He's not going to do that either.
Well, he's not doing it today because
he's going to look at
Parliament and the diplomatic protection team still need work to do. I'm quite clear it should be disbanded. I'm quite clear some of the practices that are taking place in those units aren't fit for, forget the 21st century, any century. And it's really important that these cultures don't allow officers to think they can get away with this sort of bad behaviour.
Fewer than half of Londoners have faith in the police service. You're the boss of the police service. How much responsibility do you have to take?
No, I accept full responsibility. I've been looking into the issue of confidence around the country and not just the Met Police Service. So in London, the really worrying thing from the most recent crime survey is only 51% of Londoners have confidence in the Met Police Service. By the way, it's 40% in Greater Manchester. It's 49%
We're talking about London. We're talking about
What I'm making is this is a national problem. And Dame Lou's Casey talks about...
you're here to talk about London today.
Dame Lou's Casey talks about the devastating impact of austerity, her words, not mine. So what we're trying to do is bring about immediate change in London. That means changing how we recruit, how we vet, how we supervise, how we do misconduct. Some of these things we need government supports in vetting and in misconduct.
You know this already. Why have we not done it before now?
Well, it's a question for the Home Secretary when she's here with you. But I'm quite clear in relation to what I've done over the last few years. I was the guy that called for an independent review into the police service. I insisted that it should be Dame Louise Casey. I made sure it looked at systems and cultures to shine a light in every part of the Met Police Service. And today's report has got to be that wake-up call for anybody in denial about the scale of the challenge.
You've been the Mayor of London for nearly 7 years now. You have to accept some responsibility that half of Londoners don't trust the service that you're providing.
And that's why, ultimately, I lost confidence in the former Commissioner. Look, reforming the Met Police Service is a critical part of my mayoralty. Dame Lou's case is not just diagnosed the symptoms, she's given the prognosis and a route map at how we get out of here. I'm determined to make sure we accept all the recommendations to get out of here. Including the fact that potentially the Metropolitan Police Service should be broken up. Yeah, and she's right to say that. I'll tell you why, because, look, what she said is, do these things, and I don't think the Met Police Service is too big to survive. If you don't do these things, you may need to look into making the Met Police Service smaller. I don't think we're there yet because Dame Louise Casey has confidence in me, according to her report, and the new Commissioner and the leadership team, and I'm determined to carry through those changes. But do you acknowledge that the Metropolitan Police is potentially on the verge of just being too big? Yes, if it carries on as it is. What Dame Louise Casey also found, Met Police Service defensive, resistant to change, are willing to engage with the communities. By the way, when I was here more than a year ago, I used words in denial, arrogant, complacent to describe the Met Police Service. And so it's not just me saying it, Dame Lou's Casey saying it as well. So the police can't ignore it in relation to the changes required. But it's right for you to raise that question, and the police need to hear this. If there isn't the change, there is a possibility, if not this government, a future government will break up the police service. We need to realise that.
Over what period of time?
Dame Lou's Casey has said 2 years.
What do you think?
I think 2 years. I mean, I've always said, and Mark's always said this. Mark began the job in October, just after the Queen's funeral. You know, he's been out of the police service for 4 years. His deputy, Lynn Owens, was out of the police service, Met Police Service for 10 years, running the NCA.
But they were both leaders in the Met previously, and they have to accept some responsibility for the culture of the police service in London. I
think all of us do. Dame Lou's Casey says, you know, listen, next month is 30 years since Stephen Lawrence was murdered, a racist murder. It's now almost 25 years since the Macpherson report. You know, Casey talks about...
And not much has changed.
And not much has changed.
And you've been the mayor for nearly 7 years.
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk about my record over the last few years. Look, so I'm the guy that ordered a review into the gangs and matrix because of concerns in 2017 in relation to disproportionality. I'm the person that asked the Her Majesty's Inspectorate look into policing of the vigil in Clapham Common. I asked them to look into concerns around the brutal murders by Stephen Port in relation to East London.
Do you think there are still rapists in the police service in London?
I don't think anybody can answer you that honestly yet.
How fearful are you that that's the case?
Well, one of the things that Sir Mark's done, which will give me more confidence, is Sir Mark's going back over the last 10 years. Any police officer or police staff against whom an allegation has been made, domestic abuse, sexual offences, will be looked at again. And so we'll have a better idea then, because you'll be aware, you know, Cousins and Carrick, inverted commas, slipped through the net. Carrick, in fact, shouldn't have been in the police in the first place and should have been vetted at the regular vetting interval and being kicked out. And there were reports made about him and nothing was taken. So nobody can honestly answer that question yet. We'll be in a better position because Sir Mark's ordered an urgent review. It's called Operation Onyx. We'll have a better idea in the next few weeks. And
the police service is under special measures. That's not going to change anytime soon, is it?
No, there are 7 police forces around the country in special measures. One of the things that the HMI have said, which I agree with, is what they don't want is simply a tick-box exercise to say these things have been satisfied. They want to make sure that any change is sustainable and meaningful. And it's really important that change is sustainable and meaningful because, listen, this isn't the first report in relation to the Met Police Service. We talked about Macpherson 25 years ago. What Londoners want to know is this will actually bring about change. I'll tell you what
Londoners want to know, Mr Mayor. They want to know that if they're walking the streets of London tonight, they can be completely safe in the knowledge that they won't be attacked by a rogue police officer.
I agree. They also want to make sure, by the way, that if they are attacked by a member of the public, the police will be there to respond accordingly. And so we've got to make sure they are. I would still advise Londoners, as I do my daughters, to report things to the police, to trust the police. We've got to make sure, though, that those Londoners who don't trust the police, we earn back their trust.
And you'd still have trust in the Met?
Absolutely. But you know, everyone in the police service, every single person in the police service needs to understand they have a responsibility to bring about this change. It can't be just left to Sir Mark and Dame Lynn.